Once upon a time, there was this young girl with a zest for life. She was focused on making all her dreams come true and conquering the world. Then tragedy struck. In a blink of an eye, she lost everything. Or should I say, she lost all movement and speech. As a result of the misfortune, all her hopes and dreams disappeared into thin air. There was nothing left to live for. I mean, what is the reason for being alive if you cannot move at all? My name is Kati van der Hoeven. I had a hemorrhagic stroke in 1995 which affected my brainstem severely. I have owned locked-in syndrome since. My upper brain works perfectly, I am clear of mind, and all my senses are intact. However, the messages from my brain to my muscles do not go through, so I cannot make them move. I am almost entirely paralyzed and cannot do anything by or for myself. I cannot speak either. I talk with my eyes. Thank you for having me here. I hope to give you something today of some value that you can take with you into your education and your life. As we are educated at home by our elders or at school by our teachers, we learn about life's theoretical and physical parts. We are taught how things work, how to use them in the best way possible. We learn to help ourselves, help others, work, and be the best that we can be. We are given a blueprint on how to succeed and live a good life. Our brains are loaded with all kinds of information to be a valuable part of the social system. We certainly have a great education system, and anyone that can and wants to learn can do so, and they can make all their dreams come true. We, humans, are magnificent biological creatures at top of the food chain. A massive machine built by organs, bones, muscles, and liquids. Full of energy and all is a great brain controls the power. Or does it? One thing that we more than often forget is that the brain relays and processes all the info and sends all the signals. However, it is not the one driving the person. We, humans, are emotional people, and even though we want to convince ourselves that our brains are in control, the reality is that we are driven by our heart, our emotions. It is not so much what you think, but what or how you feel is what matters. Even though our emotional being controls most of our lives, little education we get about it. We are taught to deal with our emotional manners straightforwardly, how to control them. Which is part of the equation. The other part is how to use our emotions by letting yourself absorbing and feeling it all. If you want to live your life and enjoy it to the fullest, you must have control of it, but you also must feel it. If not, you will not enjoy it. We can talk about all kinds of emotions and deal with them, but that will take forever. Today I will talk about one emotion in particular. Desperation and depression, and how to deal with and becoming resilience. This is my experience. From a young age, I wanted to be a model. I thought that I had the right mentality for it. I had Sisu. Or so I thought. Walking down a catwalk with all eyes on me. No problem. Going to castings where snobby people look at you with judging eyes. Piece of cake. I was being criticized on every single detail. Getting rejected repeatedly. And then I would wake up the following day to go through same again without bulging in. That is resilience, wouldn't you say? Well, that was nothing compared to what life had in store for me. Right after the stroke and rehabilitation, there was just desperation and depression. There was no reason for living and no motivation at all. Sitting in a wheelchair with my body hanging sideways and drool running out of my mouth was not just embarrassing. It was humiliating. Strangers wiping your private parts was degrading. Seeing people looking at me with eyes filled with pity was intolerable. It was all unbearable, and there was not even hope for a cure. I just wanted to die. After a couple of sessions with a psychotherapist, he said that I did not have to come back anymore. My state of mind was as good as it could be. Can you imagine being in a situation so bad that a psychotherapist considers that wanting to die is a normal reaction? His diagnosis of my mental health did not reflect my emotional state, though. To say that I was a mess inside would be an understatement. There was nothing more that I could do more than to lie on a bed with all these nasty feelings of lost and desperation inside of me. I cried so much until the point that I got exhausted from crying. And no matter how much I wanted to die, my body and my heart never caved in. My heart still wanted to live, life to the fullest. As time passed, I started to listen less and less to my brain and more to my heart and emotions. A decision had to be made. Choice 1. To lie in bed all day. Or, choice 2. To get out of bed and sit in the wheelchair all day. Not much of choice. It does not seem like much of a difference, but there is. A sort of discipline had to be created. Beware, discipline is not routine as doing something at your comfort because they are easy. Discipline is pushing through even though it is hard and there is no meaning for it. To do something even when there is no reason or motivation. So, I decided that every morning I would dress up and go to the wheelchair. As I did this and time passed by, I started to notice that each day slowly but surely, I was getting less depressed and that the feeling of desperation was fading away. The strangest thing happened. I started to feel happy despite my condition. By ignoring the negative thoughts, the positive feelings start to take over. Is that resilience? Is that the secret of Sisu? Is it as simple as ignoring negative thoughts and opening your wings into the wind of positive feelings? Yes, yes, yes. Resilience is a simple thing. Perhaps not so easy to achieve. But still a simple concept. It is a matter of letting go of the useless. Recycling yourself. And adding on new virtues which can enhance your life. It is a matter of ignoring peer pressure. And shutting out negative thoughts and people. It is a matter of listening to your heart. Believing in yourself. And creating your own new world. What I have learned through my experience is that, to be strong, we must turn our biggest fears and deepest hurts into our most valuable assets. We cannot grow stronger and wiser if we hide behind walls or walk only one path. We cannot know the true meaning of resilience if we do not love with all our hearts and have it broken into a million pieces. You cannot understand resilience until you lose it all. Living over 25 years of resiliency, I learned to know that strength is not of a solid state but a flexible element. To be resilient, you must first be vulnerable. You must try and fail. You cannot hide from embarrassment or shame. You must win and lose. You cannot fear the chance of being hurt. You must love and lost. Have your heart broken a million times. And still be brave to love again. If you do all this, you will be emotionally prepared to handle any shih tzu that life throws your way. You will know the true meaning of resilience. You may have noticed that I said in the beginning of the speech that I own locked-in syndrome instead of saying that I have locked-in syndrome. It was not a mistake. I own LIS. I do not let it define my life. I am physically limited. However, I do not define myself by those limitations. I do so by ignoring what I do not have, and focusing on the positive, appreciating the good, and being grateful for all that I do have. You may have not heard this before, so let me be the first to tell you. Appreciation and gratefulness are key elements in the structure of resilience. I hope that there was something that you can take with you from my story, my life. I want to leave you with one last piece of advice. In all aspects of life, always choose love. Have a nice one. Hopefully, we will see each other someday. Bye bye.